Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 4.0 What's New for Red Hat Advanced Cluster Security. I'm joined by Principal Product Manager Anjali Talung, and I myself am Mike Foster, StackRox Community Lead and Principal Product Manager at Red Hat. We have a very exciting release coming up, and we are super ecstatic about some announcements. But Anjali, I'm hoping that you can take us through a little bit of the release recap, 3.73, 3.74, and then what's leading up to 4.0 with some big announcements. Take it away.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. So let me start by saying that from a product perspective, we have some exciting features in the last few releases. And let me do a quick recap on 373 deliverables. So for meeting the performance and scale needs of our customers, we introduced Postgres as a storage backend in ACS. We also introduced ACS Cloud Service that lets you secure your applications in minutes while you leave the management and provisioning to us. We introduced Cloud Service in 373 and got your early feedback in 374. And now we're going to announce the limited availability of the solution in Red Hat Summit coming in May. More on that in slides that are following up. And finally, in 373, to help you shift left security early in your application lifecycle, we introduced another cool feature that provides the ability to generate build-time network policies based on application manifests. We will look into 374 and 4.0 features. You can see, as you can see in the slides, but more details are coming up in the following slides.
Yes, we will get into all the details, but first we have a big announcement. So you mentioned the cloud service, the early access program. What are we letting the people know about?
Yeah, very excited to introduce ACS Cloud Service. We have been getting feedback from the customers and working on improving this cloud service in the last few releases. So to our customers, ACS Cloud Service brings faster time to value. You will get a fully managed ACS Central available in minutes that can quickly scale as needed across clouds and geographies, enabling you to focus on securing your applications. We also bring a fully managed ACS offering throughout the stack. What this means is 24/7 experts SRE support and an industry-leading SLA of 99%. Hybrid cloud flexibility, delivering a consistent experience for ACS on the cloud, giving you the choice and ease of use to choose the offering that best fits your need. And finally, flexible consumption-based pricing, including cloud committed spend. The cloud service will be available in AWS Marketplace and also via Red Hat channels. Customers will be able to use their cloud committed spend, as I mentioned earlier, and we will support both the US East as well as EU Ireland zones. So if you are interested, contact us and sign up for a 60-day assisted trial.
Mm-hmm. And if you're in a zone and you're looking for us to expand, let us know as well. We'd love to hear about your use cases. So contact us for a demo. Thanks for that. That's a huge announcement. Obviously, going to be coming out at Summit as well. But along with the cloud service, we have the big 4.0 release. This is obviously in line with some big product changes under the hood. I was hoping you could take us through this, opening up with the central database migration.
Yeah, exactly. 4.0 is a major release version change for us. And this is due to a fundamental change in our architecture. The central database is now moving to Postgres from RocksDB. This comes with several benefits. We also gain the ability to scale higher when customers need a larger data set. So Postgres is naturally, able to scale to higher volumes easily. We are providing also with this easy upgrade. The migration from RocksDB to Postgres will be seamless with the operator. That said, we highly recommend that you test out the migration in a staging environment. And based on your specific needs, you will need to subscribe to the 4.0 channel manually. You can get all the instructions of how to do this in the release notes and installation instructions. Also, for customers that want to use their own Postgres databases, we will enable this option in 4.0 as a tech preview feature. So this helps customers leverage their investment in Postgres as well as use existing processes for backup, restore, and high availability. This feature is also used in ACS Cloud Service, so we have some learnings from that as well.
Yeah, and it was awesome to watch how easy it was for the cloud service customers to get upgraded and get those new features on the fly. Speaking of other big upgrades, I know we've been waiting for this one for a while. We talked about in the roadmap at the end of last year. Vulnerability management has been upgraded / improved. You take us through that, please?
Oh, yes. Very excited for these set of features as well. So we have the ability to have host level node vulnerability scanning. We introduced this in 4.0. The scope of this feature is limited to scanning CoreOS RPMs installed on node host as part of the CoreOS installation for any known vulnerabilities. Just to point out here, today only a handful of security solutions offer this functionality, and we are very excited to be part of that group.
Awesome. Yeah, sorry. And just to jump in, is the plan to be expanding on those functionalities in the future?
Yes, definitely. We plan to expand on those in the future.
Awesome. Looking forward to it. And now we have an integration update, one that's a long time coming.
Yes. As you know, clear consolidation has been an ongoing effort for us. The goal is to create consolidated CLAIRE scanners to ensure that the vulnerability scan results from all Red Hat products, such as Quay, Red Hat Ecosystem Catalog, Red Hat ACS, all produce accurate and exactly the same scan results for Red Hat components. We achieved our first big milestone in 3.7.4. As of 3.7.4 release, our customers can now integrate upstream CLAIRE v4 scanner with RHACS for vulnerability scanning for an early preview. It will become the default scanner for ACS when consolidation efforts are complete.
Awesome. So a vulnerability management workflow being consistent, whether using CLAIRE, ACS scanner, or you're in Quay, I think that's awesome, especially for security and development teams.
Yeah.
One of the next, I think, more sleek looking features, 3.7.4, we announced Network Graph 2.0, which was a big upgrade to the UI. 4.0 obviously is going to continue that. Want to take us through it?
Yeah, so the ACS network graph helps customers understand their networking security risks and helps improve their security posture. It allows customers to investigate active flows using rich data included in the view. It automatically establishes a baseline for allowed connections based on observed traffic and helps users develop Kubernetes network policies that reflect the approved baseline. So what's new is the Network Graph 2.0 introduces more intuitive navigation, enhanced functionality, and crisp graphs, as you mentioned. A cool UI experience that dramatically improves the usability. Please also note that Network Graph 1.0 is deprecated with ACS 4.0 and is planned to be removed in 4.1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'd love your feedback. Obviously, ACS has open source StackRox. We have Slack channels as well, but it is a very cool feature. And also, along with that, we have a big policy upgrade too. This comes along with the database migration. So in order to get what we call ACS collections, you have to have the database migration done. Take us through it.
Yeah, ACS users need a way to reference areas of interest in their infrastructure in a repeatable manner. So today, when users want to apply multiple policies to the same scope, they need to explicitly define the scope with each rule again and again. So if they want to change the scope, for example, to add or remove a namespace to the same policy rule, they need to change that scope everywhere. Instead, users want a way to define logical groups and be able to reference them dynamically. So the ACS collections are a new type of object which allows users to define these logical references. We call them collections since the selection rules are very granular and users can cherry pick what they select. These rules may use static identifiers as well as dynamic identifiers or labels at the cluster, namespace, and workload level. Further, collections may include other collections to easily reflect the hierarchical ownership of infrastructure. For example, collections may be used to define individual dev team ownership and can be grouped to describe larger areas of responsibility. Collections are useful in many areas of ACS, and we will gradually introduce to describe filters and views across the product. Users would be able to pick the area of their interest and list prepared by the ACS administrator. But in 4.0, our focus is to provide this for vulnerability reports.
Oh, that's awesome. Going to be awesome for grouping vulnerabilities by teams as they bring in new clusters or new deployments. That is great. Very powerful. Exciting. A little bit of a throwback here because I worked on this one pretty closely in 3.73 when it was introduced, Kubernetes network policy generation with the MPGuard project. Now this got integrated, like I said, in 3.73, but we're still telling the story because although the network graph is very, very powerful, we think that there's a more efficient way to tackle network policies, right?
Oh, absolutely. So Kubernetes network policies in general is a very difficult subject even for networking experts, and sometimes there is not much clarity on who owns this policy creation. So ACS helps you create network policies at runtime using network graphs. But we really wanted to help customers to automate these policy early in their application lifecycle. And that's why we introduced network policy generation that will look at your application manifests, your deployment YAMLs, your daemon sets, etc., analyze them, and understand the communication patterns to automatically generate these network policies. So these network policies provide tighter ingress and egress flows, include default deny namespaces, and we go even deeper to only allow DNS if it is detected and if it is required. So as a result, you get a really solid definition of your networking connectivity that is very well isolated. You can use the feature from command line, and the pod isolation that you achieve with this can reduce risk of data leakage, unauthorized access, lateral movements by the attackers, and DDoS or denial of service attacks.
I think it pairs really well with the new graph, especially you give the developer the tool to create it. They put it in their testing environment. All of a sudden, the network graph flow lights up green. Everybody's happy. I think it's awesome. I've already had a couple of early access customers use it that way. So very, very cool. And then to wrap it up, we have some general product improvements. Just sort of a list. You want to run through them? General things that we're tackling. Obviously, very important still.
Yeah, these small but important updates from our side. So with 3.7.4 and 4. Release, there are these small other features that we wanted to highlight. Security conscious customers need a list of processes that are listening on ports in secured clusters. Customers are interested in associating which deployments and associated processes have open ports. This helps the customer better assess their security posture for the cluster. So in this release, we bring the functionality to you with the processes listening on ports feature, and this is available through the listening endpoints API. UI changes for this feature will come in the next release. With 4.0, we also validated ACS functionality on OpenShift 4.12 in FIPS enabled mode. This helps meet compliance requirements for our various customers. We also added ability to secure OpenShift clusters running on IBM servers with ACS. We have validated securing OpenShift 4.12 on IBM Z, Power, and Linux One servers, while OpenShift 4.10 on IBM Z and Linux One.
Awesome. That was a very jam-packed feature list. I'll have them all listed out there in the summary, as you can see. That being said, I will wrap up everything as a PDF and give a link for everybody to review on your own time as well. Anjali, thank you so much for giving us a quick update. The PMs, RHACS-PM@redhat.com if you ever need to contact them, although the GChat, the ACS GChat, and the ACS Slack are going to be the best places to find and contact. Not just them because they're extremely busy, but we have other resources that are there to help you. Again, Anjali, thank you so much. Good luck with the 4.0 release, and we'll see you for the roadmap coming up in a couple months.
Sounds great. Thank you so much.